I've realized that I'm not the best at scheduling my time. You see, I have a lot of things that I do between not just these YouTube channels, but also client work, and I'm also a husband and a father, and have just lots of different activities going on all the time. So it could become a little challenging to figure out how to structure my schedule. So I decided to start feeding AI all of the different things that I do, including telling it what my priorities are, what my goals are, and some of the struggle areas that I have. And I have decided to allow it to create a schedule for me. And I'm going to follow that schedule for 30 days and see if I have improved productivity. So, how did I do that? Well, let's take a look at what's called Personal.ai. I was looking for an AI tool that is personalized. I didn't want to use ChatGPT, even though I know that you can feed it information and it will learn, but I don't know if I necessarily trust all of the information that I put into ChatGPT. I wanted something that I can upload files, perhaps old journal entries and stuff like that into. I wanted it to have a decent idea of what I'm about without me having to spend a ton of time feeding it manual information. Like, I wanted it to use history, like history that I had. So I took pictures of my journals, I moved some files out of digital journals into it, and then I also just fed it new information as well. And over the course of a couple of days, this is what it's looking like. So I asked it just recently, can you generate for me a daily time block schedule based on my goals? And so it broke that up. And I didn't mention to it that I wake up a bit earlier than that for working out, but it added in Bible study and prayer time at 6, which is something that I do. Family breakfast and kids' morning routine. They're going to be heading back to school in a couple of days, and so that is typically our morning routine. And then they're at school by now, and so I want to do a content creation block where I'm recording my YouTube videos and maybe even doing a little bit of editing, depending on what I have time for in here. I also have some courses that I'm working on as well, and so with that, I have like a lot that I want to try and achieve every morning. And I want to do that from 8 to 10 because it's probably the time when I have the most creative energy, or not necessarily creative energy, but I think it's easier for me to talk and get my words out, and to just, there's less interruptions in my head and everywhere else at that time in the morning. Then we're going to go at 10 a.m. We're going to do client work. And so I have a digital marketing agency. I do web design, digital marketing. Sometimes I have some reporting that I need to do. It put team management in here, but I don't have a team. I just work for myself and outsource a few things. So I guess that could have to do with contacting any of those resources that I outsource to. Then we'll have lunchtime, and I wanted to leave an hour for lunch in there because I try to get lunch with a friend every now and then. I try to get lunch with my wife every now and then. And I just wanted to make sure that I had an hour in there to just not have anything that I was trying to achieve, because if I stick to that schedule in the morning and I'm just go through that schedule, I'm going to need a little bit of a break by noon. So then at 1 o'clock, it's my deep work block, which is more strategic planning, development of new ideas and new courses, and maybe even doing some consultations I do from time to time in here. My kids are out of school just after 3 o'clock. I'd like to not be busy when they get home from school. It's often that I am busy and I'm just not here when they get home from school. Or if they do get home from school, I'm trying to get things done, and it bleeds into that time because I just, maybe got started late or wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. And I just really want to be done with that segment of my work when they get home, so that when they get home, I can greet them and just, chat for a couple of minutes till they get into whatever they're doing. Maybe they have homework, maybe they're going to play with a friend or something like that. And then I don't have to worry about being disrupted by them or feeling rushed or anything like that. Then I'm going to go into 4 o'clock, which is content review and planning. I'll start to look at the performance of some of the other videos, maybe even respond to comments, updates to my content calendar, maybe create some thumbnails. These are just ideas that AI came up with. I I didn't even feed it really any of this. I just told it my goals and what I wanted to achieve, and it generated these things. So then at 5 o'clock, we've got family dinner and evening routine. And so 5 p.m., I want to be done and ready to help my wife with dinner, or maybe dinner's ready and we're going to sit down and eat. I don't want to be thinking about the things that I didn't get done. It's often that's what happens. Things end up bleeding into an area where I just want to be relaxed and I don't want to be thinking as much about work. And I feel like I've gotten pretty good at not doing that compared to how I used to be. I used to it was all in there all the time and I couldn't focus on anything or anybody else. I've gotten better at not being upset or frustrated when things bleed together, but things are still bleeding together a little bit, and I just want to alleviate that. And so I'm thinking that maybe this content blocking in this way will help things out. So then we've got in the evening, it's called personal development. It came up with that. My kids typically aren't in bed by 7 o'clock, but we're usually winding down by that time. And so I might practice the drums because I play on the band at our church sometimes. If I have a performance coming up, I may practice that week, or maybe I'll practice something else. Also reading and learning. And then 8:30 would be family wind down time, which is usually when my older two would go to bed. They'd be, in bed about 8:30. And I'd have time just to spend with my wife. And then at 9:30, next day preparation and bedtime. Like, I want to be in bed and I just want to be ready to fall asleep no later than 10 o'clock, because I get up pretty early most mornings. Most mornings I wake up at 4 a.m. I work out for an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how fast I get myself up and moving. And I know that I need to be in bed and trying to fall asleep by 10 o'clock. So if I can hold myself to that, then I know that the next day I will be good to go. So I trained this AI tool with a variety of different files and information that I had, things that I had written. I had Google Docs from journaling in Google a while ago. I had Obsidian files from the Obsidian app when I was journaling in that for a little bit. I had exports from Notion. I copy and pasted some stuff out of Apple Notes. And so there's lots of different info that I poured into this so that it would get a general idea of my mindset, the things that I'm talking about and thinking about on a day-to-day basis. And that really helped get this AI tool dialed in without me writing a lot. You see, if I scroll up and just kind of look at the conversation feed, I've asked it some questions and stuff like that. I started out just like asking it to inspire me, and then it brought some information in and some ideas in from just my past experience. And I started asking it questions. And what Personal AI does is it kind of gives you a score based off of what it thinks the accuracy and relevance is, and then the context. And so you can see this was kind of relatively low context. And so this is a score that is derived from what I can understand based on the information that it has on you, and then how much information you provided it in the question or whatever prompt it was that you're giving it. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the right tool for me. What I do like about it is that it's siloed, and so if I decide to delete all of this and I just say delete everything, it will erase everything. It's not using my information to train other AI models. It's using my information to train my siloed AI model, and that's my basic understanding of Personal.ai. So you essentially upload things into memory, and so if you come in here, I can select an AI model, and then I can upload files into it. It looks like the last couple of files timed out, but I uploaded a whole bunch of journal entries, and a lot of these are really small. I also uploaded quotes that I had saved from books. I added the URL for my blog. I tried to upload my Substack, and so my newsletter that I'd been adding to Substack, I tried doing that, and it was unable to get through. So I guess it can't actually crawl the information from my Substack. But I also had it, I took some YouTube videos of mine and added those as well. So some of my different YouTube videos that I've done that have some of my thoughts and opinions, I added to that also. So what's cool is that there's also an iPhone app. And so on the iPhone app, I can sit there and chat with this AI, and anything that I add to it can become part of its memory. It's essentially just like having a conversation with a person who doesn't forget anything. So I can chat with the AI, I can ask it questions, it's going to remember those things, it's going to remember how I responded as well, and then it's just going to learn and get better and better. So I've decided that I'm going to take 30 days and I'm going to utilize that schedule that it generated for me based off of my goals and see how things work out. Along the way, I'm also going to give it some feedback, because feedback is going to help it get smarter and help it better fine-tune things. If I find some areas that tend to be a little bit of a struggle that aren't working out for me, I'll let it know and I'll ask it if it recommends making any changes. And at the end of 30 days, I'm going to report back in a video to you guys and share how it went. I think it's going to be pretty good, because I've tried calendar blocking in the past, but I haven't looked at it the way that the AI presented it to me. It presented it to me with these different sections that are specific to different areas and different goals that I'm working towards, whether it's business related stuff or goals that I have, things that I want to achieve. So far, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. So let me know what you think about this challenge. I think this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to utilize this. I'll probably share some things along the way on my social media, so you can follow me on Instagram at Jared Hill. But make sure you hit subscribe so you can be notified when I put out those updates. And I probably will also be sharing some stuff in my newsletter. Forgot to mention that. Link is down in the description below. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for checking it out. Hope to see you back here soon. Take care.